So earlier today, I saw this post by Agba John Doe, right? And in the post, he said that you may wish to say that it is insensitive, but I will tell you, young men, regardless, as long as you are in Nigeria of today, you have no business marrying a wife or even having kids. If you are not earning above 250,000 naira per month, and that's me being very conservative or considerate. Almost 20 years ago, I married my wife with a salary of almost 200,000 naira per month. That's 200,000 naira of then is about 15 to 20K today. So do the math. And and I responded saying that I teach budgeting, and from my spreadsheet 4 years ago, a family of four on 500K was doable. Today it requires a lot of sacrifices. So if you want to use 250K to raise a family today, your eyes will peel. Agba is being very conservative. And so after writing that, the post inspired me to actually take a minute to show you guys how I do my coaching on budgeting specifically, because I help people with financial literacy. I'm a personal finance coach. Um, I teach budgeting, saving, investing. Those are the foundations upon which you build your financial freedom. I teach people how to get out of debt. And generally, I teach people personal finance generally. But for the purposes of today, I'm just going to talk about budgeting. And I'm going to give you an example of a man making 500,000 naira with a family of two. So there are about four of them. So how I do my budgeting is first and foremost, I account for my income. My primary income, my side income, let's say this guy total is 500K. On this right hand side, you will see my bank account. I have separate account designated for separate things. So school fees has its own account, rent has its own account, emergency fund has its own account, projects have their own account, black tax have their own account. I segment my income so that I spend from those specific accounts. So that if that money runs out, then I'm done for that month. That's just the way I do my thing. And so for a guy making 500,000 naira a month, the first thing I'm going to pay myself, first thing I'm going to do is pay myself. 5% of my 10% of my income will go to my emergency fund. Now, unfortunately, 10% is not a lot, but my aim is to get to 25%, but you start at 10%. 10% is the minimum. So typically, I'll just come here and do a simple math and say equal to dot one times my monthly income, and that gives us 50,000. So that 50,000 automatically goes to my Wima bank account where I put my emergency fund account. The next thing I have to think about is rent. A guy making 500,000 naira should not spend more than 2 million naira on rent. That's about 4 months of the rent a year. Let's keep it at 3 months because we need a lot of things to do. You're going to see very quickly that this 500,000 naira is nothing. Nothing. So let's say the guy is at 3 months, that's 1.5 million. 1.5 million divided by 12 is about 125,000 naira a month. So typically, once I pay my rent, I start saving for the next rent. Most people wait 3 months to the next rent to then now decide, oh, I need to raise the money for rent. But 3 months before rent, you start raising that money, you're not going to have it. But if you spread it across 12 months, it becomes easier on you. So I'm going to put 125,000 naira a month. Now, we have to be realistic. A person spending 1.5 million naira a month in Lagos for rent is probably not living in Surulere, not Ikeja, not the island. So maybe Ikorodu, maybe Shomolu or Moshi. I don't know. But definitely not Surulere, right? The next thing is, so which means that he's most likely going to be living very far away from his house. That's another expense. Leaving home very early just to get to work and coming back very late. That's another problem that for another day. This 125,000 naira, there is a certain way that you can actually invest it, guaranteed to give you much more than 1.5 by the end of year 12. But that's a different topic. Not going to go into that today. Now, food. How much do you think a family of four will eat? How much? 150,000 naira is too small, but we're going to leave it at 150,000 naira. For now, we'll come back to it. How much do you spend on electricity every month? If you're on band A, 10,000 naira is not going to be enough. Maybe 20,000 naira. Gas. 1 kg now is about what? 17, 18,000 naira. 18,000 naira. Let's say 18,000 naira for a month. Loma. Let's say you're spending 5,000 naira a month for Loma. Water. You guys must drink water. You guys must drink water. You would buy at least 4 CUAs in a month. Minimum. So let's put 20,000 there. DSTV. DSTV at this point is a want. It's not a need. It's not a necessity. So we'll keep that one aside. Repairs for the house. We are hoping nothing goes bad this month. Let's keep that for a side. We'll come back to it. Fuel for our gen. We have to generator because there's no light. We have to have gen. So let's just say we are budgeting 10,000 naira for fuel every month. Internet for the house. 25,000 naira. Say we are using fiber one. Then miscellaneous. Something has to be set aside in case something happens. And if you look at this side, you will see that as I'm doing this, the money is already populating in the accounts where I will transfer this money from my salary account into. So we'll come back to miscellaneous. School fees. So I have two children. Let's say their school fees is 100,000 naira per term. This is cheap. Two children is 200,000 naira per term. 1 year is 600,000 naira per year. That's about 50K a month. Again, school fees is something that you start setting aside every month. You don't wait till school fees is due to start looking for school fees. And dry cleaning, we'll do dry cleaning for a second. Maybe I have to wash my hand because I can't afford it. Entertainment, this is the money that me and my boys we used to go out and flex maybe once a weekend. One weekend, once a week or twice a week or once even a month. But we'll come back to that because we are not sure if we even have enough money for that. Because right now, we're already at 473,000. The only thing that is left is 27,000 naira from a 500K. Fuel for our car. We must put fuel in our car. How much do you think you're spending for fuel? How much is fuel now? 50,000 naira a month. I'm already under over 523,000. I have not talked about entertainment. I've not talked about DSTV. I've not talked about car repairs. I'm hoping that nothing goes bad. My car does not have a problem. I've not talked about black tax because I have siblings that may need money from me. I've not talked about my in-laws. If I'm married into a family where they're not doing very well and they're depending on me. I've not talked about the general help that I will come on Twitter and people will start tweeting that I need help, or people in my DM, people that are reaching out to me that know me, people that think that I'm rich. I've not talked about all those people that are reaching out to you. So as you can see, 500,000 naira is not a lot of money. You will then have to adjust drastically to bring you under 500,000. Anyway, check my website jp@2a.com. I teach personal finance. If you ever need assistance getting out of debt, need assistance in budgeting, saving, investing, get in my DM and holler at me. My X account at jp@2ae. My LinkedIn, jp@2ae. Have a nice day.